So we're going to talk about Jala Neti, which is another one of the shatkarmas. This is a neti pot. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes, of course, and I'm going to show you how to use one today. So you need to use warm salted water. The salt is essential because it creates a positive osmotic pressure, and that'll make sure that it doesn't irritate the lining of the nose. And I use this just plain old Mexican table salt. We don't have a lot of choices here in Mexico as far as what kind of fancy salt we can get. Half a teaspoon to 1 cup of warm water, and it needs to be lukewarm. The reason I use the plain table salt as opposed to Himalayan salt is because the Himalayan salt does not dissolve as well, and so that's going to irritate your nasal membranes probably. I have some hot, just boiled water here, and I'm just putting enough, maybe a 1/4 cup or so into this Pyrex so that it'll dissolve the salt completely. Now obviously I'm not going to use boiling hot water in my nose, so that's about a 1/4 cup right there. The salt is dissolved, and then I top that off with room temperature water. This is filtered water, by the way. And that's about 8 ounces. I check the temperature, and it's just barely room temperature at this point. And then I will use half of that in the neti pot and reserve the other half for the other nostril, because we do 1 nostril at a time. That's about half right there. So now we're just going to do the procedure. And this nozzle on the pot is just the right size to go into your nostril, and it's going to allow the water to flow up into your nasal cavities and then down and out the other nostril. So sometimes I find that I have to kind of use my finger to assist in keeping it from leaking out the same side that I'm pouring it into. I'm going to start with the right nostril. And you just gently tip it until the water starts to flood in. Yeah, see, there we go. And it should start to drain out the other side, like so. Some of it's running down my arm a little bit here. You might have to adjust your head position a little bit. Breathe through your mouth. Until all the water is through. I keep some napkins handy. And then you want to just dry it gently by holding 1 nostril closed. Get any extra water out of there. Anything else? And then the other side. You don't want to blow your nose too harshly or too forcefully after doing this, so just a little puff. And then I use the other half of my water. And do the left. Same thing. Flat, dry the one side. Try the other side. You can sniff it up a little bit more into the sinuses if necessary. Soft blow. Again, be very gentle. Nasal membranes are the most sensitive membranes in the body. That's why we pay so much attention to them, especially in meditation, and you want to keep them clear. So right now my nostrils, aside from the water that's still in there, there's a little bit nice and clear, and it helps you also to kind of focus your attention during meditation, because you can really feel the air as it moves through the nasal passages while you're doing pranayama and breathing in your meditation. Even though your breath in meditation will probably get very, very faint at some point, you can still be aware of that movement, and it's really, really helpful for your focus. So Jala Neti, I don't do this one every day. I do it only when I need it, which tends to be really only during allergy season. For me, that's a few days in the spring and another few days in the fall where I'll start to get really sneezy and a little bit stuffy. So then I'll get my neti pot out and do that before my meditation. Oh, excuse me. You can buy these just about anywhere. I've seen them in Whole Foods. Of course, they have them on Amazon. And they also have a new device I've seen advertised on TV. I have not tried it myself, but it's called Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. And it's an electrified version of this that you just kind of put up against your nose, and it does the same thing. It circulates saline water through your nasal passages. It doesn't hurt as long as you've got the salt balance right. And if you, for some reason, don't have a way to measure the salt, just get a cup of very lukewarm water, and you want enough salt dissolved in it that you can just barely taste it. If you can really taste it, then it's going to be too strong, and that's also going to irritate your nasal membranes. And if there's no salt, that's going to hurt a lot. You probably found that out when you went swimming as a kid. If you inhaled water, it would kind of really bug your sinuses. So use this when you need it. Like all of the shatkarmas and a lot of the asanas, it's not necessary to do every day unless that really helps your practice. I use it as more of a prescription, so when I find that my nasal passages are just not as clear as I'd like them to be, I'll get out the neti pot, but I don't make this a daily thing. I think the yogis generally will recommend it 2 to 3 times a week unless you're super stuffy, you've got a cold or something like that, then you can do it every day. So I'll leave it up to you. Enjoy. Namaste.